Good evening, everyone. How you going? My name is Louis. I'm glad I remembered that. I'm filling in for Gary Mitchell, who's out on a hot date with a very special lady. We've got 3 letters this evening. The first one is what we're calling it? We're calling it Rebound Therapy. It's a very concerned sister-in-law. Our second letter, we'll be exploring Darwin's theory with the Isle of AIDS. And our third letter, booting out beloved. A lady wants to get rid of a few freeloaders, and I've got lots of mates like that, especially on a Friday night when the wine's flowing. So join us in a few moments for Sweet and Sour with a totally different coloured host.
Got a problem, big or small, would a miracle be nice? Our motley crew is back, churning out advice. You might even laugh a bit in the following half hour. Park your backside on the couch, cause baby it's time for Sweet and Sour. Right here on Sweet and Sour.
Pour some sugar on there, baby.
It's time for Sweet and Sour.
How's about some chili?
It's time for Sweet and Sour.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. How are you? My name is Lewis, and I've got a lovely panel of guests with me this evening. Feeling right at home with 4 ladies. To my left, Stacey is the voice of reason. How are you, Stacey, today?
Very well, thanks, Lewis. How are you?
Well, I can't complain. It's a bit of a spring feeling in the air, don't you think?
That's right, I agree.
Lovely. And Councillor, how are you today?
Very well, thank you. Thanks.
See, I avoided saying your name because I can't pronounce it.
Can't get it right, can
Eleni.
you? Eleni.
Eleni.
Yeah, emphasis on the second E.
Mm-hmm. Well, you look well.
Thank
Very
you.
nice this
Thank
evening.
you very
Lovely.
much. Thank
And
you.
Paris is off the floor this evening and
Yes,
with us
I
on
am.
the panel. How you going?
I am. Very well, thank you.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, ready for it.
Okie dokie. Pink ribbon gala ball. Barbara, what's happening?
Well, think spring. Pink ribbon ball is at your door and feel pink. Yes, pink ribbon ball is taking place on the 11th of October.
Okie
And I
dokie.
love you all to be there. It's going to be very special.
Wouldn't miss
Lovely.
it.
It's going to be amazing.
And that's the Perth Convention Centre?
Yes.
All right, I'll see you there.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Letter number 1. I am so incensed. My sister died 2 months ago, and her widower husband, for whom I felt an enormous amount of sorrow, has turned into a selfish pig. I invited him and his 2 teenage kids to my place for a birthday so that he would spend it with his family and not feel lonely. Lonely my foot, she says. He called and asked if he could bring a friend, and of course, I said that would be fine. When they walked in on the day, the friend turned out to be a girlfriend who is already shamelessly shacked up with him. I composed myself on the day for the sake of the kids, who are still grieving so much for their mother. I just don't know what to do. I picked up the phone to blast him at least 6 times and hung up before connecting each time. I just can't believe how callous he is to the memory of us. Her family, my mother, hasn't seen him since the funeral, and I can't bring myself to tell her. This whole thing is just surreal, and I can't figure out what is appropriate course of behaviour for all concerned here. The most recent insult to her memory is that he asked the kids not to mention their deceased mum in front of the girlfriend. Please advise. This is from Karen Karen from Mile End in South Australia. And Stacey, any help?
Well, I think, Karen, you're going to have to be the adult in this situation because, unfortunately, the father will determine who the children see. So if he has a falling out with you, you might not end up seeing your niece and nephew. So I think that's really important, that you maintain a relationship with them so you can tell them about their mother and they can talk with their mother about you, and you can talk about when she was a child, etc., to help them through their grieving process. And I think the new girlfriend would have to be a little bit sensitive in this situation as well, because she's suddenly coming into someone else's home where they've lost their mother and these children are grieving. So, as I said, Karen, you're going to have to be the adult and not scream at your brother-in-law, and hopefully he'll let you maintain that relationship with the children.
Children are important. Eleni?
I agree. I don't think that picking up the phone and blasting anybody is really going to achieve anything other than alienating the selfish pig of a brother-in-law that you have mentioned in this letter. And I do believe it is so important because to maintain the relationship with the kids, because they've just been through a horrific loss. So they've lost their mum. The last thing they need is to also lose their auntie. So yeah, it's going to be really tricky, and I shudder to think how you're feeling. But it's important to maintain the relationship with the brother-in-law because he is the one that, through him, you'll be accessing your, you know, your nieces or nephews. So yeah, really difficult. But just hang in there and keep the, you know, the communication flowing, because those kids need you.
Is the brother-in-law a bad lad, or is 2 months too soon?
We can't judge. I mean, look, you know, I'm not being judgmental as to, you know, the reasons why this man's chosen to do that. I mean, you know, that's just something that none of us can control or really, you know, look, I mean, you know, each to our own. I mean, personally, I think it is too soon, but I'm not about to say that's not the issue here. The important thing here is not the father, the kids. So you really need to be there for those kids, you know, you really do. So just keep talking.
Do you think a new lady is a detrimental step in the relationship of brother-in-law, sister-in-law?
Not exactly. I mean, when you go through grief, he probably hasn't lost all of his memories with his loved one. He's probably just dealing with grief in a different way. And when you're grieving, you look for comfort in someone. And if that's what his girlfriend is giving him, then, you know, good for him. It's a shame that it's maybe ruining his relationship with his children, you know, but still he needs to find happiness too.
Okie dokie. So, on the rebound, Barbara, or is he sincere?
I agree with everything everybody said. I just want to add the following. Everybody is different. Everyone grieves in different way, first of all. Secondly, Karen, I really understand how you feel, and you must be very, very deeply hurt. The letter shows it. But you don't know what was going on exactly between your sister and her husband. You don't know how the marriage was. You also don't know, maybe he had a nice talk from his heart to the children prior bringing the girlfriend into his life. So all of it are maybes, which just proves what all my colleagues here said, that unfortunately you can't change it, but you have to take protection of position of the children.
But we don't like him, do we, girls? Because he asked the kids not to mention the mum's name. I mean, is that a total no? That's good or bad?
Maybe it makes him sad.
He's not prioritising the children. I think it's, you know, I mean, you know, it shouldn't be about his needs at this particular point in time. Teenage children have so much to deal with, regardless of whether their parents are alive, you know, let alone just having lost your mother. So I just would think that he may be able to put his own needs aside, you know, for, you know, a short while and get the kids on track, and then definitely tend to your needs. But the kids' needs are more important at this point in time, I think.
He's probably not thinking clearly either, you know,
Yeah,
going through all of this.
All right, so advice to Karen, take it easy, take it slowly with him, treat him with kid gloves for the sake of the kiddies.
She'll have to be the adult and keep the
I
lines of
agree.
communication
I agree.
open.
Show him the way.
Okie dokie. Karen, did you hear that? Yeah, get yourself a little bit of patience, love, and just calm the situation down. And that's all the advice we've got to give you on this, huh? Thank you, Karen. Laughing. Yeah? All good?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Beautiful. Welcome back to Sweet and Sour and the lovely panellists we have with us. Everyone that sends in a letter that gets read out on Sweet and Sour will go to the movies to see The Beaver, starring Mel Gibson. Not like the movie that I've got at home called The Beaver, but yeah, it's a good movie. It came out August the 4th. So that's letters to sweetandsour.com. .net.au. Thank you, Paris, for that.
That's okay.
And yeah, so we'll go to The Beaver and that's the web address. And welcome back. Here we go, letter number 2.
Okay.
Some people are just so far down the evolutionary scale, it's insulting to the rest of us. Reason and reality are clear for any intelligent-minded people who care to use to use their grey matter. When an eminent medical authority advocated that commonsensical idea of isolating people with fully blown AIDS to their own island to restrict this terrible infection's growth, the unintelligent outpouring of emotional, negative reaction was both completely deafening and irrational. I understand now why so many of my friends say that democracy is overrated, because the idiots get a say as well. If we are talking about making sure our species is protected from becoming extinct by this growing scourge, why will these bleeding hearts refuse to use the necessary solutions? This comes to us from a local geezer. His name's Paul from Balcatta. And what would you like to say to Paul, Barbara?
Hi, Paul. Well, I think that democracy is about that everyone can say what they think. Saying doesn't mean it's going to happen. If we didn't have democracy, we probably wouldn't have sweet and sour. If we wouldn't have democracy, you couldn't call people idiots and being not punished for it. So, this person just had an idea. In spite millions of methods of preventing AIDS, which I won't go into it now for obvious reasons, it is very petrifying how sometimes things go wrong and how some people with intention or lack of awareness infect other people. We could talk here for hours, but that's not what I'm here for. So, democracy, carry on. Islands to send people to avoid some kind of implications, maybe no. But we can say what we want. That's democracy.
Okie dokie. Now then, secretly, I wanted to send a few people to...
I knew I'm going to hear it.
to Coventry, but obviously this geezer's getting a little bit out of control. Yes or no? Do you agree, disagree?
Yeah, I just think that there's only one real solution here, and it's just send Paul from Balcatta into isolation. In fact, solitary confinement, and throw away the key, because I don't think that we should be subjected to opinions like this. That's not democracy.
It's a little hypocritical there, don't you think?
Not at all.
So we're going to...
Lock him up.
Shall we take a contract out on this guy, or... Does anyone agree with him? Stacey, are you with him?
No, I don't agree with him. I agree with everybody else here. Everyone should have their own opinion, and you can't force someone else's opinion on everybody. We all can say what we want to say, and it might be the case where 51% of the population think one thing, and they're going to be happy. The other 49 aren't going to be happy. But as everybody here has said, we're in a democracy, so that's the way it's going to be.
Alrighty then. Now, obviously, nobody wants to get a disease as grand as this. So we're not skirting around the subject at all. You know, if we could just get it away, if it didn't exist, if we would wave a magic wand and get rid of it.
That would be great.
Would we do that? Would you do that? Could you do that?
That's the fairy tale. Hey, yeah.
But you can't just send them off to an island like New Zealand. You know, that would be pretty ideal. But, you know, there isn't a vaccine to prevent AIDS, and I think this letter's a joke. You know, some people are born with HIV. It's not their fault for having it. You know, some people have used needles, and that's how they've contracted AIDS. Some people have had sex, and that's how they've got AIDS. But it's not their fault.
Blood transfusion. So you can't just say, oh, my child received blood with HIV virus in it, so we'll just ship him or her off.
Could we lock them away if they were bad people, like if they had a criminal record?
Depends what crime they did.
Send them on a boat?
Absolutely.
Somewhere,
who pays the fare?
like Australia? No? All right, so sore subject?
Yeah.
All right, so at the end of the day, what the girls are trying to say, if I can take control of this collective census, is that, Paul, you're a knob, and keep your opinions to yourself. We're not even sure if we're going to send you one of these for reading out your letter. No. But yeah, full of controversy. Maybe, you know, you and your mates should go to an island by yourself and start your own country, and then don't let anybody in. And that'd be cool. So let's talk more about this pink ribbon gala. It's at Perth Convention Centre.
Yes.
And is that for
breast cancer?
It's the wainscot in pink.
That's why I'm having pink nails, pink lipstick, and pink gilet. And I
If
want
I'd
to
have
say what
known-
else.
And pink eyeshadow.
Yeah, and pink eyeshadow. Thank you. That's
pretty.
what I meant. It's an amazing night. It's an amazing night. Obviously, fundraising for breast cancer, Cancer Council WA. A lot of attractions, fantastic things happening. People can purchase a pink grand piano on the main auction.
Oh, really? How much?
How much?
Is it-
As much as we get.
41.26 are we on now? 41.26.
With the money going for a cause,
cool,
obviously. And the piano, which is fully donated,
So what time do you want me to rock up?
6:15.
6:15?
So we can get you on the camera.
Do we have to wear pink?
No, but we have a best pink outfit competition every year with about 400 ladies rocking up on the stage, and we're choosing. It's a lot of fun with the fantastic prizes. So, and best pink outfit competition for a man.
Excellent. Lovely
Pink
jubbly.
week included.
Nice one.
Yes.
I like it. I might bring out my favourite outfit that I wear on Fridays. I'll see you then.
Lovely.
Thank you very
We're
much.
looking
When we
forward.
come back, we're reading another letter number 3. Thank you very much.
After 10 years in television, I look forward to working on television shows that are informative, intelligent, incisive, but most of all that mean something to you, the viewer at home. Oh, but I like sweet and sour as well, Gary.
What's the matter with the clothes I'm wearing? Can't you tell that your tie's too wide?
Welcome back to Sweet and Sour. Ladies, are you ready for letter number 3? How do we feel about freeloaders? Okie dokie. How do we feel with freeloaders? We've always been a hospitable family, and I've always welcomed my children's friends. My children are in their 20s now, and they mostly fend for themselves. I work full-time, and my daughters are full-time students. We certainly try to have quality time, especially around the dinner table, as that is when we all manage to sit together. The growing problem is that some of their friends who have been living overseas for the past few years have returned home. Though it is lovely to see them, they don't seem to realise that our lifestyle has changed and quickened. They drop in strategically before dinner and expect to be fed. On top of that, they ruin the little family time that we have. I've tried to drop hints, but so far, this remains oblivious to them all. How can we deal with this situation? What's a tactful way of throwing them out and maintaining the bonds of my children's friendships? We're going to Eleni.
Yeah, well, I just think that you need to tell them how you feel, but probably not tell your children's friends, tell your children, because it's going to be a little bit sort of easier to speak to your own kids, I think, than speaking to your kids' friends. They may not take it as well, but just have a little bit of a chat to your own kids and just say, look, you know, love having everybody around, you know, it's all good fun and great, but, you know, the little time that we do have together is quite precious, and, you know, if they're going to be coming over, can you just at least let them, you know, tell them to come after dinner, because it's just too much for me to sit there and cook, you know, 50 meals for 50 people every night. So, you know, I'd love to have the friends over and that, but dropping hints is just going to go whoop over their head. You know, they don't get it. Teenagers are so into themselves. You know, they're not going to be thinking about how you feel as if. They're just thinking about what's for dinner. So unless you say to them that, look, you know, I'd love to have you, but just come over afterwards, they're just going to keep popping in for dinner. Okay. Ordering the next meal as well, who knows?
Well, personally, I think it's all right. You know, when your friends have little kiddies and they come over for play dates and all that, it's all right to feed the kids then.
Cute.
I remember when I was a young boy,
Yep.
like Jamaicans, we can eat, you know, we eat a lot being Jamaican people. And we go around to David's house, the three of us have dinner at David's house, then we go around to Mark's house and have dinner at Mark's house, then come around to my house, and we'll have 3 dinners in one day. Do you know what I mean? That's what kids are like.
Yeah,
but they're saying that these guys are in their 20s, so that's just not
right.
on.
Yeah, they're in
Do you
their
know what I mean,
20s.
Stace?
No, it's not
Would
on.
you feed a rabble of 20-year-olds?
Well, I think 20 years old is sort of old enough to know better, really, and be hanging around at dinner time is a bit inappropriate. So if it was me, I'd say to the children, you know, perhaps we need to think about our family time and sort of keep that for us, and tell your friends they're welcome over after dinner. And even during that time, take your phone off the hook and maybe get the friends to announce themselves beforehand. Just don't roll up. Perhaps give a phone call and then you can say, look, we're having dinner, but why don't you come over at 7:30? That way everyone's happy and you're not having to feed millions of people that keep dropping in for a free meal.
So it's the freebies. Are there any European scare tactics we can use on these?
Okay,
Yeah.
it's so easy, guys, actually. I think what should be done, Elizabeth should cook such a horrible meal that they never come again. You should stop watching MasterChef and do all this beautiful cooking, because they come because they feel invited. They come because they like what they're getting. Make a horrible meal, honestly. That's the easiest way. And anyway, I would do like this. Guys, I have an announcement for you. In 3 weeks' time, on Thursday at 6:30, I'm inviting you all for dinner. But today it was lovely to see you, but now it's my family time. Au revoir. In Japan, they have a very nice tradition. Even when people have a dinner party, the host stands up when he decides that it was enough, stands up and says, party finish, and everybody gets up and goes home. How wonderful is that?
That sounds great. So
Yes.
he's just doing the big...
So we have to do a little bit of
See you
international
later.
research. Stop watching MasterChef. In case of Elizabeth, I love MasterChef, don't get me wrong. Cook horrible meals so they won't come again. It's easy.
Well, what happened to just, you know, laying it flat, straight out, boom, sorry guys.
There's nothing like straight talk in life,
Yeah.
apart from everything else.
Don't answer the door.
How do you tackle the
So how to deal with difficult people 101 is step 1, forgive them. Step 2, wait it out. Step 3, don't respond. Step 4, be in their shoes. Step 5, go for a run. And step 6, if all else fails, just overdose.
Okay,
There are my steps.
I've got a pointer here. The pointer is that I don't think she cares so much about the guys dropping in and eating around her house and home, but it's the family time that she's after.
Yeah, which is precious, you know, it really is. I mean, we all lead such busy lives that, you know, even 5 minutes with your, you know, adult children is, you know, it's a real blessing for a mum, especially after all the hard work of cooking that beautiful meal. It's not just about the meal, I mean, gee, you can eat anywhere. It's that preparation and just sitting down with your family and enjoying those few minutes together. I think that's probably where, you know, that's probably what she's missing more than anything else.
Okay, so she's cherishing the love.
Yeah.
I've got a little bumpkin. He's 8 years old. Anyone else? No.
I've got three kids, yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay. Any in their 20s?
I've got a 23-year-old who's just moved back home, and an 18-year-old and a 17-year-old. So I can identify with what's going on here well and truly, but I'm just really straightforward.
Oh yeah, the dialogue's
love
just
you, love my kids, love their friends, but family time's very important.
I've got 21-year-old son. He cooks better than me, so I'm really in a good shoes.
So you're going around to his gap.
You're being looked after.
He still lives with us, but I can't compare it with his cooking. So I leave it to him.
But, you know, if you cook a bad meal for somebody, then the family's going to suffer too, aren't they, really?
Yeah.
So maybe just sprinkle a little bit of, you know, what's that diarrhea chocolate called? Ducalex? Is it Ducalex? Maybe a bit of Ducalex.
Don't give the
Give them
hints
the
away.
runs, you reckon?
Don't make her surprised, I guess.
Well, Elizabeth from Albert Park in Victoria, I hope we've given you some insight on how to get rid of your freeloaders. But really, frankly, just tell them, listen guys, it's cool for you to come around and all that jazz, but, you know, it's family time, so it's time for you to chip. I'll see you later.
Should we give away the movie?
Shall we?
To this letter?
Let's
Do you
have
think
a-
this is the best
Yeah,
letter?
I think
I
I reckon.
Yeah?
Yeah, give it to Mum.
What about the geezer in the Isle of Jobby? We don't like him, do we?
No, we
No,
don't like
that's
that.
horrible.
And the other one, what was the other one? Some people are just so far down. I am so incensed with my brother-in-law. Is she having the whinge, or she
I
needs
think
a
mum
bit?
yeah,
with the kids,
I think the
definitely.
mum
I mean,
with the
they are
kids.
four
Alright,
women
so the
talking.
sunglasses-
Yeah, exactly.
I don't see. I knew I was in for it the minute I sat down, you know what I mean?
That way she doesn't have to cook the meal that night.
4 against
night
1.
off.
So Elizabeth, lucky girl, you get some sunglasses. Beautiful jubbly. Where are the sunglasses coming from? I have no idea.
Aussie Opticals.
Aussie Opticals. Thanks. Good job you're here. Thank you. Aussie Opticals. Thank you, Aussie Opticals. Thank you, ladies, for your attendance this evening.
okay.
We shall see you at the Pink Ribbon Ball.
Dressed in
Lovely
pink.
jubbly.
Ball.
I'll wear me pink fishnets to that one. That's all we have time for this evening. Thank you for your comments and your presence. Eleni.
Eleni.
Beautiful. I got it right. Lovely jubbly. The voice of reason. The voice of reason. Thank you very much. Paris, what will we do without you?
Oh, I don't know.
Laughing. Especially delicious this evening. And Barbara, you too. Thank you very much
Thank
for
you,
your
lovely
time.
being here.
Thank you very much, guys. Good night, and see you next time in Sweet and Sour.